An alleged divorce between President William Samoei Ruto and his deputy Professor Kithure Kindiki. I did a piece the other day about looming divorce because in the recent past, it has been seen that President William Ruto is not so happy with his deputy president. Since there are some instructions he's trying to issue to him to paint Rigathi Gachagua in bad light, but instead, Kindiki allegedly defies them, saying that he cannot lack respect for his brother Rigathi Gachagua. He still considers him as a friend and as people coming from the same region. Now, here are certain questions I would ask. I would want you to really ask yourself before I indulge in the issue of allegedly having Farouk Kibet slapping the deputy president, a man who was security all through. How comes Farouk Kibet is able to slap him allegedly? Now, there is a card that is being played here. Remember, after the ousting or impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, aided by the National Assembly, by the majority of the MPs voting for the impeachment, and also the Senate upholding that impeachment, which ended at the High Court. We are yet to see the proceedings at the Supreme Court, whereas we are being told the digital filing system has been interfered with. Now, here is my analysis of these issues. One, they are trying to play the same game that now is working in favor of Rigathi Gachagua. Remember, for Rigathi Gachagua, it has just been organic. Like the moment he was impeached, the people felt betrayed because remember when the president and his deputy, then Rigathi Gachagua, when they were campaigning in 2022 before the elections backwards, remember they did say they'll put a stop to 1, extra-judicial killings, 2, state-sanctioned abductions, 3, that never shall William Ruto do to his deputy whatever he was done to by the then president, that is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So here's where the betrayal come from. And remember, those who were campaigning for Ruto were indebted from themselves. They were saying that we are in debt because remember Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, while campaigning back then, said kumi zangu kumi za William Samoei Ruto, meaning after supporting me for 5-year term and adding me another 5-year term, which are 10 years, then another 5-year term for William Samoei Ruto and another 5-year term for William Samoei Ruto, totaling to 10 years. Now, when Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta entered into a handshake with Raila Odinga, we saw the then deputy president William Samoei Ruto being sidelined in key government functions. And borrowing from that leaf, that is what you're seeing right now. It began with Rigathi Gachagua before he was ousted, when he started missing in action in these key government functions that the president was attending, which is in relationship to what is happening right now. We are not seeing Kithure Kindiki attending these functions that are so important the president is attending. But now, as I told you, for Rigathi Gachagua, it was organic. People felt like they were betrayed from the promises that Ruto gave. And that is why they rallied their support behind Rigathi Gachagua. Not because they want to vote him in as the president, but because they resonate with whatever is at hand. That is why he's come as a truthful man. The things he's been saying and seem to be true. And that is what Mwananchi wants to relate with. Now, Ruto realized that he messed up, and among these allegations that Ruto is not happy with Kindiki and also not happy with the majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah, and there is also one person that I'm forgetting about. Yeah, it's not because he felt like this impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua was so rushed, and they didn't actually go to the ground to get what's actually the feeling of the ground. What did the people really want? Remember back then when there was this demonstration of the Gen Zs and the millennials pushing for Ruto must go occupy parliament, occupy state house. It was about Kufa Dereva, Kufa Abiri, about the stopping of the Finance Bill 2024, which right now is trying to be reintroduced through the backdoor means. That is what even PK Salasia the other day just warned Kenyans and even told the national speaker, that is Moses Masika Wetangula, that hey, you are the speaker, and as my boss, people should be very vigilant of these bills that are just coming on parliament and being passed all through. And before I continue with this Kindiki issue, at one point even Salasia say that there is no way the president will come with something and say this is good, you all clap, then says again this is bad, you all clap. For instance, that was the issue about supporting the finance bill. The MPs, those who are so much aligned to the president, were so much pretty sure that this is the best thing. Then when it was again withdrawn, they were also clapping. About the Adani issue about taking over the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, just after the Adani was vindicated in the US for corruption charges, they have been finding their ways into contracts through corruption. That is then the president did cancel the Adani deal, but specifically with regards to the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Now, the same MPs who are clapping and praising the president of having Adani, including whom is supposedly supposed to be the opposition leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, even came and said that we could be tarnishing names of reputable companies. Now the tune changed when the president cancelled that deal, and also these MPs began clapping again. So it's like they're being driven like sheep. When you're told it's right, it's right. It's left, it's left. So seems like the president is driving this country as a one man. The key organs that are put place, the ministers, the PSAs, those are just but ceremonial titles. Seems like the president is running a one-man show. And as Kithure Kindiki was coming into the picture, they did say, he was actually saying he's been in the cold corner for 2 years and he believes Kithure Kindiki is going to bridge that gap and make sure that whatever hasn't been done with the past 2 years is going to be fast-tracked and development is going to be seen. Now, ask yourself, whatever is working organically for Rigathi Gachagua, could it be that these people now want to try actualize that in a play card? What do I mean? Make Kithure Kindiki disappear for some time, make him silent for some time, let the people who are supporting him and who are pro him feel like, where is our deputy president? Where is our son? Our son is missing. Let us create a theory that something is happening within the government that is not in favor of him, so that maybe he could receive sympathy. Like the one that Gachagua is not controlling the masses. He receives sympathy so that when he reappears, people get emotional, they get uplifted, and now welcome him the same way Rigathi Gachagua is being welcomed. What if that is the matrix that these people are trying to play for us? So sometimes we got to ask ourselves certain questions, not just taking whatever we see. We need to dig deeper because politics is a dirty game, as it has been said time and again. It is a term that I've listened since time immemorial, ever since I was born. I've been told that politics is a dirty game. But now see, going to the definition of politics, this is the struggle to get power to control resources. Who gets what, when, why, how. You understand it? And basically, when Gachagua was talking about shares, he was actually saying things that were written. So, if this is not a game that Kithure Kindiki and William Samuel Ruto are playing, then there must be some serious, which we call, how could I call it, superiority syndrome that is attacking our President William Samuel Ruto, whereby you want to be superior, and whenever you feel your subordinate is coming up, it's like he wants to replace you, have to hit him a little bit. Now you're trying to come to Nyanza. Yesterday he was in Luo, whatever culture, whatever was being launched in Siaya, and they named that stadium Jaramogi Odinga Stadium, just the same way they named Jaramogi Odinga Stadium back in Homa Bay. I wonder if all these stadiums within Nyanza will be named after Jaramogi Odinga. Okay, that is not the point. The point here is Ruto is now trying to penetrate in Nyanza. But let me tell you, Mr. William Samuel Ruto, you're going to find this field so slippery. If these people can never even vote 50% consolidated for one of their own, out of the total registered voters, not even 50% votes for Raila Amolo Odinga, how do you think then they're going to vote you? If you've lost the mountain, I mean, don't have hope on Nyanza. Because this time, Nyanza people have said, we are not going to be told to follow whatever direction. No, it is us to see and get to know what we want. And deliberately, the government is delaying the constitution of the IEBC. Why? Because these Gen Zs that you are seeing, most of them are now eligible to vote. They only need to be registered as voters. And when less time is brought, most of them will be left out. Therefore, when you will be yapping and saying Ruto must go and all those chants, and you don't have a voter's card to go and vote that person out, then to him it will be just an essay. You understand? So this is the time that we really have to fight to make sure that the IEBC is appointed, the commissioners are appointed, and everything is running on smoothly. There are constituencies in the eastern region and one also in Share County known as Ugunja. Their member of parliament was risen in rank and became the CS for energy, and now those people don't have an MP. They need to go into elections. By elections need to be undertaken in that area, but without an IBC, that is not possible. Anyway, that is my view about Kithure Kindiki. I feel like there is a political card that the government is playing so that Kindiki could receive political sympathy, and people would come in numbers to support him when he appears in public to counter whatever Rigathi Gachagua is doing in Mount Kenya. Since right now, he got the support of the people, undoubtedly. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the Unscripted Talks here in Durb Radio. If you love content of this nature and you're watching from our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and press notification button so anytime that we are live or we upload content of this nature, you'll be the very first person to be notified. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, Durb Radio ndio mpango mzima.